Namaste, Guruji. Welcome, Assyria. Are you crazy?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Hey, Richie dear, coming in. She called me Richie dear, yeah.
So Dr. Rich, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy to be alive.
Yeah.
All 6 airbags went off, and it's like, I'm still here. I'm very happy. Hey, Anmol, remember we were talking about photosynthesis last week? How to make a simple sugar so sweet. It's the photosynthesis. And in front of you, in front of your eyes, the water's gonna come.
All right, welcome back viewers to our another exciting episode of our podcast series on Crobstacle. So today we have a new day and we have a new guest with us. Dr. Rich, how are you?
Honored to be here with you,
Yeah.
especially in Dubai,
Yeah.
as you launch out your whole world
Yeah.
venture and
It's
take over
very
the world
exciting.
very soon.
So I couldn't come to the US, but Dr. Rich could come to Dubai. So that's why we are here.
Indeed.
So why are we here today?
Well, you're starting something new,
Yeah.
and we're also starting something new at Rich Learning.
Yes.
And this is the right place to be at the right time.
Yes.
East meets west in Dubai, and north meets south in Dubai. It's a great business climate, and you get the adjacent possible of some of the brightest minds in the world in any industry or field that you're looking for, all coming to the same place.
So
And
Dubai
that's-
has best of all.
Well, then that's also why you can just sit down in a coffee shop like you did this morning and
Yeah.
have a new business deal with China,
Yeah.
just by sitting down and having too many hard drives laying around
Yeah.
and somebody asking a question.
So Dr. Rich, can you tell us more about brain-based learning? So it's a buzzword now, but earlier it wasn't. So let's talk a bit about it and understand how you started with it and how it links up with the rich learning theory.
Rich Learning is brain-based learning on arts-based platforms. When I was a kid, I would always draw. Before I could even write, I drew the first book and dictated it to my mom. It was a story about a duck who couldn't quack, and in the end, you found out he could quack, he just chose not to. I would always make up songs to remember anything, and I knew music worked, I just didn't know why it worked. I wanted to know the why behind the what. I was precocious, I couldn't sit still, and a lot of little boys today don't have that attention or retention because the way they're being taught just doesn't wake up their brain. So I began to look into ways to short circuit the short circuit of learning disabilities by using music, art, dance, theater, fun, games, anything that would totally wake up your brain and connect your brain, your body, and the environment. That's Rich Learning in a nutshell, brain-based learning on arts-based platforms, and it never would have been invented if I had just been drugged with Ritalin or something to make me a compliant child in the school. The future doesn't need a bunch of compliant children who sit in space. They need creators to whom space, imagination, the world and beyond the world is their paintbrush and their canvas. And that's what Rich Learning is going to do in the Metaverse.
Now tell me more about how did faith, neuroscience and art come together in a cohesive manner for rich learning?
I was born a very active, precocious, artistic kid. I would draw everything that I could think of and a lot of things that I didn't think of. I didn't know I was dyslexic until I was in my 50s at the Neuroscience Institute and at Tufts University with Dr. Marianne Wolf, who studies dyslexia and helped me understand that. But I always had to make up songs to remember things, make drawings. My first book was written before I could write. I drew a duck who couldn't quack, and in the end you found out in the story he could quack. My mom wrote the words down. As I grew up, I came upon a quest. I wanted to help find ways to short circuit the short circuit of learning disabilities, and that led us to Rich Learning.
If I go to a teacher right now and tell them that let's mix education and entertainment, two different worlds together, so they will be like, what are you gonna do with our kids? But here you have built your whole brand around it. Let's talk a bit more about it and why does that matter more than ever now?
I'm a bit of a word geek, and let's look at the words entertain and educate. Both from the Latin, en terra tain, to truly entertain is to get en in, terra, into their land. Terra is land, terrarium, right? Tain is to hold. You have a container, right? True entertainment is to get into their land and hold them. Education, from the Latin educare, educo, one of the meanings is duke. The duke is the leader, right? Is out, to lead out. True entertainment is to get into the land and hold them. True education is then, once you've gotten something going inside, is to lead them out. It's not just to put information in. If all you do is put stuff in and nothing comes out, I think educational constipation results. You got to put good stuff in, but then you have to set up the environment in order to draw them out or to lead them out. The very best education gets into their land and holds them. The very best entertainment also draws something out when it's over. So we try to create something now in this moment where not just moving one finger on a mouse, but in the metaverse, the entire brain, body, and environment can interact to be part of that learning process.
So you have talked very clearly about education and entertainment coming together. So now many parents would think, yeah, metaverse could be a distraction for the kids because they are always wearing goggles. And if you talk about parents, they don't want their kids to be on it. But let's talk about how it is not a distraction, and by gamifying it, you have built something that actually does a lot of good things for the kids.
If the goal of education is just to cram stuff in and regurgitate for the test, you're not preparing kids for the future world. They're going to have to be able to think on their feet. They're going to have to work in collaboration with kids from all over the world. They're going to have to understand cultures and how to get the hidden signals and symbols right. And they're going to have to solve problems that don't even exist yet. They're going to have to know how to use AI and not just have AI use them. And they're going to have to be able to be world citizens. The metaverse, for the first time in human history, is going to create cultures, not just a culture, cultures of coalescing connective tissue that can create the solutions with great minds, great hearts, and great tech all together. I think the metaverse right now will give us the opportunity. You could have a kid from Shanghai and Mumbai and Dubai and Los Angeles growing up in a gaming platform to learn the way the brain learns best, which means connecting the brain to the body, to the environment, to go on learning quests together, to create things together, to solve problems together. They might become friends for life, and they might become parts of teams that will do what at the present no AI can really do. Add that human element of creativity for the better of the whole world. It is an exciting time. Shakespeare, Hamlet Act 2, said the play's the thing. That's not just playing games to get points and kill monsters. The play is that interaction and freedom and creativity. That's what the metaverse is going to give us if we choose to seize it and become the connective tissue of children from around the world to solve those world problems.
So, Dr. Rich, you are a very interesting personality. Why not take this as a case study? So you have to build a school from the scratch in metaverse. So it's not a traditional school that we are having. So what are the top 3 brain-based elements you would like to have in that school?
Our concept of school is relatively new. Our concept of learning isn't new. You have been reading symbols your whole life. 10,000 years ago, if you saw the footprints of a gazelle in the snow, that was a symbol that meant food, right? If you saw the footprints of a tiger in the snow, that meant I'm food if I don't get out of here. Though you were reading messages with your brain for a long time. If you saw the footprints of a gazelle followed by the footprints of a tiger, that meant leftovers. If I get there in time, he's going to be full and I'm going to have some leftovers to eat. Our brain has always been recognizing symbols and translating them to meaning, and that's reading. So we do have a reading brain. But the idea of recognizing certain symbols, certain letters, and putting them down, that is relatively new. The Sumerians were among some of the first ones to do that. If you look at the kanji and the Chinese letters and such, those are symbols that still have meaning, right? This is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3, put them together, okay. About 550 BC, the Greeks decided that we are going to just simplify that and put phonetic. This symbol has a sound to it. okay? And then our brain had to read in a little different way and a faster way, and it did an amazing, amazing job. If there were three things that we would want to learn in a school, the first is it's not going to be sitting in a desk in a class. It's going to be exploring the world together. That's number one. And it's so much more fun, and it's so much better for the ADHD kid, the dyslexic kid, to be learning in a team and having fun and having quests and having challenges and doing that together. It's going to be amazing. You're not going to be a school just with a bunch of classes. That's the second thing. Well, you'll be the school with no class in the future. You're going to have no class, but it's going to be great. If you're able to learn math or reading on a fifth grade level and you're in third grade, why would you be stuck in third grade all that time? If you're a little bit slower and you're at fifth grade, but you're only reading at a third grade, the AI is going to give us a chance, and the friendships and the learning, to not have grade-based, age-based learning. We're going to be learning in learning teams with our attitude and our aptitude put together. The future of education is not going to be striated like that with artificial classes in place. And finally, in my first experience in India, I saw all these brilliant kids, but they were stuck sitting in rows. And I worked in preschool at the very beginning. 40 preschoolers sitting quietly in rows. Don't move, don't sit, don't run, don't do this, don't. Education is not going to be full of don't do this, don't do that. Come up to the board, write the right answer, or get hit by a stick and sit down. No. Education is going to be all about exploring anything that you have in your imagination. The future will be education, imagination. The future will be the school with no class. And the future will be reading the things that really matter to you right now, whether they're a deer print in the snow, a tiger print in the snow, or here's this whole world that I can create to solve brain cancer with my friends, or this whole world that I can learn to read things inside codes and inside AI and to use the AI as a tool for me. It's going to be very exciting. So now we have to leverage the tools that work the best with our human brains, and AI can help us. Now we're going to have to create collaborative learning styles with kids from around the world. Not have to, we're going to get to. And now we're going to have to and want to teach the way the brain learns best. It's going to be very exciting, but it's not going to look like a classroom sitting in a desk. Schools, the brick and mortar schools, are going away by 2030. Our brick and mortar schools are going to start disappearing. And when it happens, it's going to be very fast. Are you ready for that?
So, Dr. H, if we talk about industrial revolution, so when that came in, everybody was scared. Oh my God, I'm losing my job. What is this? Trains are coming, machines are coming. They are going to kill me. Same with AI. But you are bringing in the educational revolution. So I would like to understand from you, what are the mistakes that the traditional educators will bring into the Web3 world? Let's talk about that. There is a thing, whenever something new comes up in the market, so everybody is like, so with the AI world. So in 2017, everyone, ChatGPT cannot do anything. But now it's here. If you don't use it, you are out of the market. Now, if I talk about the revolution that you are bringing to the market, so it's educational revolution. Now, what do you think about is going to happen with the traditional educators when they are going to be in Web3 or Metaverse? What are the biggest mistakes they're going to make? Let's talk about that.
Well, there's more than 3 mistakes that we're making in our traditional classrooms today, which only showed up for most kids after the Industrial Revolution and after Henry Ford's assembly line, where you take the raw materials in, a preschooler, you add a little value on the assembly line, you add the chassis, you add the wheels, you have the drivetrain, you have to put in the seats, you put in the glass, and off it goes. First grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and supposedly by the time you graduate, you're already equipped to drive through the world. Well, you know what? We are graduating kids who can't even read in many of our cities, who can't think, let alone read, who can't do basic math, who can't solve life problems. We need to get more concerned about what world are they walking into, not what world creates the citizen who just fits in a cog and is supposedly ready by the time they kick it out the door. We are teaching kids who are very advanced and they're bored to death in a lower classroom. We are teaching kids who need to grasp concepts, and they get pushed through, and they don't even know the concepts on graduation day. And once you start feeling dumb, I don't know this, that's when the behavioral problems happen. We are telling kids, sit still. The brain and the body were not meant to sit still. A couple thousand years ago, if you sat still, you would have been eaten. We are not meant to sit in desks. Janet Vernikos wrote a book called Sitting Kills. She's a NASA research scientist who studies bone density for deep space flight. And she proves how just sitting is going to kill you. As soon as I read that book, I bought a Nordic Track walking desk. I don't type anything unless I'm walking because I want more oxygen to the brain. Our mentor, Dr. John Rady from Harvard, wrote the book on ADD, ADHD. He and Eric Haberman were psychiatrists in the 80s, and they were seeing more and more kids, especially boys, having to be drugged just to sit still. We are not meant to sit still. Our brains will drug themselves with attention and retention drugs if we're moving, if we're learning together, if we're having fun. And if you have a traditional classroom and you're doing most of the talking, that is a huge mistake. Give them something good in the first third of the classroom. Maybe get bouncy desks and walking, okay? Give them an assignment to work collaboratively together in the next third of the class so they're moving and thinking, and make them sing a song, dance a dance, create an art project, do some theater, create something active learning, and then let them be the teachers in the last third of the teaching time. Dr. Bill Glasser wrote the most brilliant book I've ever read on education. It was called The Quality School. And he said, in the quality school, everyone is the teacher. So your first mistake, teacher, is thinking you're the only teacher in the classroom. No, you're not. And if you try to be, you have to be as good as the internet, and you're not going to be able to. Give them something good. Get them working on it. Let them teach each other. You do those three things and instead of trying to be the only teacher, and you've got a very high quality school. A school for life where they will be able to solve problems together because they've been doing it all their lives.
So when I was a kid, I did not like writing that much. So can you tell a bit about, so when rich learning is in motion and we are doing the AR VR thing, is it going to be the future for all, or are there any limits?
First, when you talk about AR, VR, AR is the augmented reality, and VR is the virtual whole immersive 3D haptic holographic help me Obi-Wan Kenobi, or my only hope metaverse that you'll be going into. Very soon, before that fully immersive 5G turns to 6G HD quality, I don't know if I'm really sitting by you and talking to you or not, world. Before that happens, long before, the toilet seat cover glasses that are so big that they don't really fit on a little kid at all, that's going to go away, and it's going to turn into something as lightweight and stylish as a pair of Ray-Bans or sunglasses. And what's going to happen is your virtual tutors are going to appear before you like a genie coming out of a bottle. They're going to hop up and say, "Hey, Anmol, you remember we were talking about photosynthesis last week? What was that song? Let's sing that again, shall we? Well, wait a minute first. Tell me, what do you need for photosynthesis?" And you're going to say, "Well, the song was, take a little water, take a little light, take a little air. Yeah, that's right. Inside each and every cell, there's a factory that can tell how to make a simple sugar so sweet. It's me, photosynthesis, photosynthesis." And in front of you, in front of your eyes, the water's going to come. Take a little water. The light is going to shine on you. Take a little light. Take a little, the air is going to come together, and the molecule's going to hook. It's going to go into the cell, the mitochondria in the cell, and you're going to even know what a mitochondria is when you're 4 years old. And it's going to pump out a sugar that fuels the body. That's the future of education. And that'll be happening very quick, and that's the first thing that we're working on our Rich Learning project. Why not have your virtual tutor be a goofy space alien? And the space alien jumps up in front of you and says, "I'll be your tutor today. Let's learn together." And you fly off into the space station. We're inventing something called the City of Six Towers. And they greet you at the door, and you, in order to get in, you have to sing the song you had last week to prove that you actually learned that. Then you'll get your points for all that. The AR, augmented reality, is going to come very quickly. The cell phone for driving is going away. You're not going to be looking at a screen. The screen's going to be coming to you. You're not going to have a pair of iPods in your ear. You're going to hear beautiful, full quality, AIFF waveform sound, and it's all going to be right there. Now, for a little while, you might have to have the actual engine, something this size, in your pocket. But after that, it's just going to all be coming to you. The virtual reality, the full VR, will be like beaming into a holodeck. If you need to learn your French, why would you sit in class learning Frere Jacques? J'ai mal, I am sick in the à la tête, in the head. J'ai mal, I am sick à la gorge, and you're not going to just be doing those repetition things. Although repetition myelinates the neurons, and that's good. To learn your French, you might say, I want a friend from Shanghai, Mumbai, Dubai, and Los Angeles, and together we're going to go on a 6-week learning quest to get our basic French. We're going to beam into the base of the Eiffel Tower. A virtual French cartoon will say, all right, today I will give you 400 francs, and you must get to the Notre Dame Cathedral to watch it burn down and get built up, and you will have a lesson at the end of the day to tell me how did it get built, and how did it burn down, and how did it get rebuilt again, but you will tell me in French. Now, by noon, you have to buy a baguette on the other side of town, so you're going to have to walk across Paris in a virtual twin. You will be walking the roads of Paris, by the way, but nobody's going to be speaking English to you all day, or Hindi to you all day, or Mandarin. Nobody's going to speak your language. You're going to have to learn French in order to get your final points at the end of the day. And then you must get to the Rodin Museum and see the beautiful sculpture and pick your favorite 3 sculptures and tell me the name when you get to the Eiffel Tower tonight. And then by midnight, by 8 o'clock, you must get to the Eiffel Tower and go up and watch the fireworks all over wonderful, beautiful Paris. That's how you're going to learn your French. And you and your friends will have 400 virtual francs to go into this virtual world to learn as you go and go as you learn. And when it's all over, you're going to get your virtual tokens, your virtual currency, and you'll be able to buy yourself some virtual, really nice Paris fashions straight out to go on your virtual stuff. That's how you're going to learn in the future, and it's coming very quickly. The problem will be that this will be for kids who can't afford it. And the kids who can't afford it are going to be sitting in desks. J'ai mal à la tête, j'ai mal à la tête. J'ai mal à la gorge, j'ai mal à la gorge. Maybe their teacher will sing, Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques. Maybe they'll get a song. But the richest learning is going to go to the kids who got the money. With our nonprofit, Rich Learning International, for every kid who can afford it, we want to give one away to a kid who can't. And we want to put kids in learning groups that become friends for life and don't even know if you're rich and you're poor. They're just friends. That's what we're going to do together. Won't it be fun? I think so. Yeah.
So now let's talk a bit about your documentary. So you created that in 2020, but that's not live yet. So when are you bringing that out? Let's talk a bit about that. But before you tell us that, I would like you to speak about, so in that you have people from China, you have people from Iran, you have worked with multiple artists. So how does art bridge the gap, in terms of the division?
As the 50th anniversary of the US and China relationship was coming up, where Richard Nixon went to China and we had ping pong diplomacy and détente, and what was a relationship that was completely separate, even at war during the Korean War. We got this harebrained idea that we could connect Chinese artists and American artists and bypass politics completely. So my friend He Chi from Nanjing and my friend Jim Miracle, I have a friend named Miracle, pretty good name, and a few other people got together with the Los Angeles Chinese community, and we created 25 Chinese artists, 25 American artists. We created a little show. The goal was then to travel with the artists to China and travel with the Chinese artists to America to go to different major art cities. And then, of course, COVID hit. So there went that plan. But we were able to put up a virtual art studio and make friends across continents, cultures, political ideas. Picasso said, art is the lie that helps you see the truth. Sometimes art is the truth that helps you see the lie. But if you can connect people through the arts, all that political stuff can go away and people can become co-creators in a new future for the kids of the world. With Iran, I have an Iranian American friend, Human, a great name. He's a great human. Human is a great human. And he came to me when some of the protesters, and especially women in Iran, were being executed or killed. And he said, what if we put artwork in murals with the faces of these people who are killed? And he was creating these murals all over the world. He asked me to help him with one special mural with a handful of special people who were killed. So we were able to design this beautiful symbolic mural that's in Israel today, of all places. What if we are able to put up giant murals that also connect people and connect hearts through the arts? I think we can get over the problems between US and China, US and Iran, anywhere, if we can get to the heart through the art.
When I talk about your non-profit side, so you go to multiple countries and work on it, which comes with a lot of things because you are doing intercultural work. So there could be a lot of potential issues. So how do you balance activism and education? Let's talk a bit about that.
The biggest surprise that I had in our Chinese American connections was a personal connection. During the other coronavirus in 2004, I had made friends with a Chinese artist from Nanjing who was a professor and an amazing artist. He was the first Chinese national to get his doctorate in medieval arts after the Cultural Revolution, Dr. He Qi, the most brilliant Chinese artist alive. He wanted his son to have a Western education, and we helped him get out of China in 2004. He moved into my house for a year, he and his family, and his family moved into our hearts through the arts. We became friends. I even decided I'd have to learn Mandarin because I have a friend. I want to honor them. So I had to learn. 我会说一点普通话，我说的不好, I'm not very good. And then his wife made me sing at a concert for 800 Chinese people on Chinese New Year. I had to get on stage in a Chinese costume and sing a love song to all these Chinese people. There's no more motivation to learn than when you're going to be on stage in 6 weeks. That's our model at Rich Learning too, by the way. The kids get 6 weeks to learn something, then they're singing and dancing and performing. You are motivated to learn because you don't want to look like an idiot. Well, I look like an idiot most of the time anyway. The surprise was people, families, they love their children. They want the best for their children. Sometimes the old people make the rules and the children die. The world's wars are like that. But if you can get in each other's homes, you can get in each other's hearts. If you can get in each other's arts, you can get in each other's homes. This friend from 2004 is a friend to this very day. He actually has a new commission to do a giant, beautiful piece of art this Advent. And we're going to have a show in Minneapolis, where I live, with his arts. And one of them is going to get blown up 20 feet by 20 feet for a Christmas concert. You can do so much if you just connect the cultures in friendships and homes and arts. That no political, no diplomatic ties, no billion-dollar government program can ever fund what you can do if you just decide, I'm going to make a friend from somewhere else and we're going to create things together. I have a friend for life in Dr. He Qi and his family. His son is my godson. The surprise is people are all the same in their hearts. They want the best for their families. We just have to find conduits to pull them together when governments won't. And the arts just make such a beautiful conduit to do that.
So when I talk about having brilliant friends, So you are the first person that come to my mind. So you have people from Oscar, you have people from Grammy, you have people from Tonys, you have people from Howard. How do you pull all of them into neuroscience? I would like to talk about that and understand what all of these people have in common. Let's talk about that.
What's the one thing they all have in common? They have something beautiful inside that they just have to get out. They have to get it out. They're driven to share that gift, that talent, that passion with the world. The famous American Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes once said, "The tragedy of life is to die with your music still in you." What's your music? What's your muse? What's your one passion, one thing that needs to be said, needs to be drawn out? Remember, the word education is to lead out or draw out. What's that one thing that just has to get out? Wouldn't it be a tragedy if you died and it was still there and nobody in the world ever heard you sing that song or paint that painting or share that thought or write that poem? It would be so, so sad. All of the Oscar winner, Emmy winner, Grammy winner, Tony winners, and every child I know has something inside that they need to get out. What they need then is an adult or a form or a format that says, "I think you've got something in you. Share it with me. And then let's bring it to the world." Yuval Ron, Oscar-winning musician from Studio City, Los Angeles, Hollywood. He came to America from Israel, and he had a gift. He had to share it out. Tom Brooks, Grammy-winning, Latin Grammy, Dove Award, 150 albums for Sony. He had music in him. He had to get it out. Gary Goddard, Tony winning. He did the Broadway stage for Spider-Man and Hair. He had something in that he had to draw out. My Emmy-winning friend, Dr. Ted Baer, who did the first animated Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. My marvelous 95-year-old, 6 Emmy-winning friend, Phil Roman, who did The Simpsons and Garfield and 11 of the 13 Charlie Brown specials. And he had that thing in, and he had to bring it out. Those people with a passion inside, a fire inside, if they're allowed and given a form to bring it out, it gifts the world and it gifts themselves. And it leaves part of a legacy behind that lives long after they're gone.
So, what are the behind the scenes that made you learn a lot on your show Tuesdays at 2, where you used to bring neurologists? Let's talk about that.
I alluded before to the fact that this whole new amazing world is coming for learning for kids who can afford it. And they will be learning what they want, when they want, where they want, how they want, with whom they want. They'll be able to fly to the distant galaxies and explore physics and astrophysics on the Hubble telescope. They'll be able to go into a little nanobot and go and study the circulatory system throughout the body. If they have a friend with glioblastoma, brain cancer, we just bought glioblaster.com. We're going to create destroy the brain cancer game that you and your friends can do with somebody who's sick. All of that is going to be available, and it's going to be available in full 3D motion. You're going to feel like you're in that world, unless you don't have any money, which 90% of the kids of the world are not going to be able to take this. They won't even have a ramp onto the superhighway of the future of learning unless we figure out a way to fix that problem. So what if we were able to take the for-profit and the non-profit, and with the for-profit create a game that learning games that billions of kids could be a part of, and even learning English as a second language or Mandarin as a second language. I mean, what if we were able to do that, and the people who can't afford pay for a membership? Like the Peloton mom, I'm getting something out of it, I'm paying every month. Or the piano lesson dad who's paying $50 a week for their kid to get piano lesson, whether they practice or not, right? Yeah. That person who can't afford it, it's no big deal. Some people pay hundreds of dollars for a private tutor every month for their kid, thousands of dollars to go into a school. But our model will be, for every kid who can't afford it, we give it away to a kid who can't afford it. And we not only give the online world, but we give the equipment and the high-speed internet download. So literally, 80% of India lives in villages still. Most Westerners think India is these big cities. Well,
That's true.
it is, but 80% is living in the village. Do they have roads? Do they have a road to the internet? Do they have, the super information highway that's coming up? They don't have to be left behind. Groups like Starlink, thanks Elon, I mean, you can beam to any place in the world, and that's what we want to do. We started our project literally for preschool 15 years ago. There was no such thing as AR, VR, internet, not even a concept. Most people didn't have a website. Our amazing friend, Kathy Thunheim, became the chair of our preschool project and helped us think through the foundations of this. And then she came with us to Ethiopia. There's Prime Minister Abiy, he used to be the science minister. He helped us, along with Dr. Bill Nelson, who's the current chair and co-founder of Rich Learning International, which is our nonprofit. Bill built the largest private scholarship fund in American history. Scholarshipamerica.org. Go take a look at scholarshipamerica.org. And they've given away $5.7 billion in scholarships at the college age. Now we want to do, with our amazing board at Rich Learning International, we want to do the same thing, but for kids. And not only provide the membership to get into this world, but the equipment and the high-speed downloads. That's what we're launching in 2026 with a project called Developing Beautiful Minds. Love to have you as a part of it.
Very good answer, Dr. H. Now let's say if we had to flip roles and you have to interview yourself. Okay.
Very good.
Very good. So now you have to interview yourself. So what is the first question you're going to ask yourself?
Are you crazy? And the answer is yes. I'm crazy in love with learning. I'm crazy in love with kids. I'm crazy in love with connecting the parents and the kids together with that cross-generational learning. I'm crazy in love with these new technologies that we can scale with the AR, VR, HD, 5G, haptic, holographic, help me Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. We can create worlds where kids can collide, ideas can collide, cultures can collide, not on a battlefield, bang, bang, shoot them up, but on learning quests. And it's going to be crazy fun to learn in this way. You won't just be sitting there pushing a mouse. That's what most ed tech today is. You're only using 187th of your body weight. Our buddy, our CTO in Singapore, Janika, came with this idea. You call this ed tech, pushing a mouse. No, what happens in this metaverse, this crazy, amazing, this cramazing metaverse, when your whole brain, your body, your environment, and your friends are all part of the learning tool? It is going to be so much fun and effective. I'm crazy excited.
So tomorrow you are here in Dubai again and Rich Learning is going. You are scaling it. And here's someone relevant to you comes into the picture and says, hey Rich, I'm giving you a check of 100 million for Rich Learning. I really like the initiative. So you get the money. What are you going to do with that?
Somebody offered me $100 million today to give them the IP and walk away. I'd laugh in their face and buy them a beer. I'd say, forget it, buddy. Forget it. We're not out just to make a living. We're out to make a life for the children of the world. And the vision, the passion, the plan, the people, the technology. This has just been so enriching to my life that no amount of money, don't offer $1 billion. It's not going to work. We have something that we can do at this moment in time that can impact the entire world. And yeah, I'm not handing that to anybody. What are you, nuts? Come on, let's do it together.
I would like to have some rapid fire with you.
Okay.
Because you are an interesting personality.
It's hard to get me to answer short and sweet, but I can try.
Yeah, you have to. So, my first question will be, Nobel Prize or Grammy?
Nobel Prize. No
Why?
You can make all the money in the world and still leave the world a worse place. You can make all the music in the world, and I made a lot of music. No. The Nobel Prize in Peace, giving the world something that will live after I'm dead, and I was already dead once, so the next time is going to be no big deal. But if I can leave something that builds and connects kids around the world, Nobel Prize for Peace. If I die tomorrow, I can live with that.
Very interesting. So next thing, what's more important, brain plasticity or teacher empathy?
Teacher empathy leads to brain plasticity because the empathy means in pathos. It's the Greek in pain, which means I hurt when you hurt. And a true leader, their people know that they would do anything for them. I tell leaders all the time, you have to know their hurt and they have to know your heart. And if they know that you know what's hurting them, that you have their best future in mind, the reason you're so much a stickler to make them do their work and stuff, because I want better for you, kid. Maybe even I want better for you than you know you want for you. And I've lived a few years and I can see this mess that you're going to be in if you don't straighten up, kid. Start working out and lifting, buddy boy. I can see what's coming down the road. It's no question that empathos, to have a mentor, a leader, a coach who says, I see something in you and get to work, buddy. You're going to be that greatness significantly more. That will change the shape of the brain. It's a no-brainer for anybody with half a brain.
Okay, so teacher empathy first, then brain plasticity. So what's the one country that surprised you the most in terms of adopting rich learning?
India is crazy. I have no clue how the British from far away could have done anything in India. I thought India was one country. India is what, 28 countries? How many different languages? You go 10, 15 miles this way, you have different food, different style, different dance, different spices. I mean, it's just like crazy. How could you hold something like that together? Even the Rajas, even in ancient history, Alexander couldn't do it, Napoleon, nobody can do this. How can anybody run India? But these brilliant, amazing people, if you can have an idea that let's do this together, let's be better than we can be alone, and let's take the best of the best of the best, and let's not leave the lower class behind. Let's just raise everybody. India is completely surprising, whole lot of fun, and beautiful, beautiful kids.
And 500 plus languages.
And 500 plus. Yeah.
So what's one metaverse device you can't wait that it should be here right now?
So if you think of the AR, the augmented reality, that's going to be simple and cheap and fast, and everybody will have access to it. Remember the movie Minority Report? He's walking down the street and the ads are coming out to him in 3D and stuff. All of that's going to be coming right at us all the time. It's going to be hard to push off all the noise to get to focus. So AR coming faster than you know. When VR goes from 5G, pretty realistic, to 6G to 20G, and AI is going to make it as realistic. You're going to smell. It's going to be smell-o-vision, right? You're going to feel. You're going to taste. You're going to touch. The haptics, the gloves, where you can be bouncing a basketball, and you might say, "I want to play basketball with Shaquille O'Neal when he was 14," and you're going to have a haptic shirt. And when he bumps you, you're going to feel it. Yeah, you're in a holodeck. That's going to be coming. It's going to take a little longer, and the download and the amount of data you need to feed you in a fully immersive world. That's going to be very exciting. It's going to be very dangerous. Some people will put on the sugar drip in the urine bag and will go on vacation, and some will never want to come back. So the beauty is the whole world and your whole imagination will be there. The danger is you might not like your real life.
Interesting.
And you might not even know what your real life is anymore.
Yeah. Could be. Last one.
Yeah.
I need answer in one word. One word that defines your entire life mission.
Joy.
How come joy?
So happiness is highly underrated. Happiness and what happens to you, happenstance. You don't want happiness. I don't want my kids to be happy. I should not hope that you would ever be happy, because what happens to you can be taken from you just like that. Joy is something deep, deep inside. And joy, when a person has true joy, it fills out and spills out to the rest of the world. Yeah. So that energy, that karma, whatever you want to call it, don't look for happiness. The happiest people can be the most miserable people when they lose, right?
Yeah.
In the movie baby silkworm, the old Chinese grandfather says, books may be burned and the tall towers rust. Even your monuments turn into dust, in spite all your titles, regardless your fame. In 100 years, no one will remember your name. If there's one thing I have learned, everything owned can be lost, can be burned. Possessions possess you, says the Buddha, and cause you much pain. Even your statues dissolve in the rain. Life is short, art is long. Hide all your treasures in stories and song. Sing them to children again and again. Long after you're gone, you live on, you live on, you live on. Amen. And you'll have joy. Don't keep it inside. Spill it out to others.
All right. So what's one mental model that you live by, but most people overlook?
Walk from your own grave.
Oh, very real.
How can you do that?
Yeah.
By sharing your gifts, your talents, your love into the lives, by pouring them into the lives of those around you, especially to the children. They will walk away, and part of you will be walking away with them. When I had my heart incident and I flatlined and I was dead for a while, I saw a golden light and I felt complete peace, total wash of peace. And when it was over and got out of the hospital, I told my children, next time this happens, you'll probably bury me in the ground. Heart patients like me don't usually survive the second heart attack very well. Yeah, my mom had 2 before she died. But I told my kids, next time I go, I want you to walk away with the best of me and bury the rest of me. Right?
Yeah.
And so I hope I'm a better dad because I died. Not everybody can say that, right?
Yeah.
But I want to walk away from my own grave in the hearts and lives I've touched. And yes, if I die tomorrow, I can live with that.
Wow, that's a statement that very few can say. And
Well, you gotta die. Give it a try.
Yeah, most won't come again. So, last thing, if a 10-year-old child from any rural place comes into Rich Learning's Metaverse, what would you want them to feel? What would you want them to experience?
The sky is not the limit. There is no limit.
Very important.
Imagination, friends. Let's build a great world together. Let's build great worlds together. But yeah, I can do anything. We can do anything. Let's do it and try. You know, if they grow up thinking that, guess what? They will be able to do anything.
Yeah. When you think most of the thing is here, once you have unlocked this, anything is possible.
Yeah,
that's right. Very important. So on that note, for our audience, thank you so much for watching this episode till here. So Dr. H, first, and thanks to you as well for giving us all the valuable pieces of your life. And so recently Dr. H turned 70 and he has given the wisdom of last 70 years to us. And on that note, I would like to say thank you, Dr. H.
Yes.
Thank you to our audience. Before I say goodbye, would you like to say anything?
Namaste, Guruji. Walakam, Asiria. I only know Tamil and Hindi, so that's it.
That's good. It was a brilliant episode. So
right.
Where they can find you?
richlearning.com.
Yeah.
And our nonprofit, richlearninginternational.org.
And on LinkedIn. So we'll put the links down in the description, and there is an ebook that Dr. H is offering right now. You can go get it for free because in the holiday season it's gonna get paid.
Yeah, that's right. We got to make some money so we can give away some money.
So it's for the cause. So go get that right now, and thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back soon with another exciting episode on our podcast series. Till then, have a great day. Bye.